Good evening, everyone. My name is Iraida, and this is
Hi, everyone. My name is Donovan.
welcome to tonight's program, where we will be talking about survivorship, specifically surviving a cancer diagnosis and a cancer treatment. Tonight, we want to send regards from our president, Francesca Diaz, and the rest of the administrative team. We also want to remind everyone about our our weekly programs every Monday at 8:30 p.m. and every fourth Monday of the month. We talk about cancer, survivorship, diagnoses, and we bring different guests into the program. We also want to remind everyone that will be tuning in today that every patient is very unique. Every outcome it's unique. The story and the journey that we're going to share tonight is specifically Donovan's journey and his outcome and his survivorship story. We encourage everyone to be active participant. You can comment, you can ask questions, and we will do our very best to answer them. We also want to remind everyone that the advice, the topics that we talk about are, again, primarily based on our own cancer journey experience. We are not doctors, we are not nurses. I have been in healthcare for a very long time. I do have the experience as an administrator. I also work in radiation oncology, and primarily we've had a cancer journey for the last 2.5 years. So everything that we will be discussing today, it's primarily based on our personal experience. And again, we want to remind everyone, that every patient, it's different and unique. So Donovan, let's talk about survivorship. And we picked the subject today because June is cancer survivorship month. So we wanna talk about survivorship, and it doesn't matter whether you completed your treatment, whether it's you or a family member. It might be that you are going through treatment now, or you have no experience whatsoever with cancer. It's always good to have the information and to be aware of everything that it's out there. So, Donovan, talk to us about survivorship. But first, I want you to share with the audience a little bit about your journey, what your diagnosis is, how long ago you were diagnosed, and anything that you want to share with the audience, anything that you feel comfortable sharing.
Hi, everyone. If this is the first time you're hearing me speak, I just want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Donovan. I am 25 years old currently, and I am a Ewing's sarcoma survivor. I was diagnosed when I was 22. I had felt a pain in the back of my neck that I wasn't sure what it was. I went to some doctors. They told me it was a pulled muscle or a pinched nerve. I was given pills here, told to put a cream there, and was just not finding a solution. And that drove me to going to my local hospital. And a couple of days later, I was told that I had cancer. And as a survivor and as a youth, as a young person, just graduating from college, ready to graduate from college and start his life, it's led me through this difficult but rewarding journey. I don't feel like cancer ruined my life. I don't feel like cancer ended my life because I'm a survivor. I lived. The diagnosis that a lot of people, once they hear it, they just think this is a death sentence. This is a limit to my life. This is the end to my life. But in reality, it's the opposite. Everyone takes their journey differently, and everyone interprets their feelings differently, and everyone takes their own steps. I'm just going to speak today about what I experienced and how I took things and how I interpreted everything and how I took my life back. How I wasn't just a cancer patient. I wasn't just a number. I wasn't just a person on a bed or a person to feel pity for, but I'm a survivor. I'm a human being. I am a man, and I am happy for every second that I am able to, that I'm able to speak, that I'm able to breathe, that I'm every day that I'm alive, I'm grateful for because I survived. And I think one of the key things tonight, we want to talk about survivorship. I think one of the key things is realizing that a diagnosis is not the end. A diagnosis does not throw away all your plans in life. A diagnosis does not mean that you can't live, because you're still here. You lived, you're beating it, you're fighting. Not every day is as easy as another. Everybody's going to have a bad day. Everybody's going to have a rough time. But just realizing what's most important is that you're still here, that you're surviving, and that you didn't let cancer take your life away from you. That's the most important thing. And that's the one thing I want to just centralize on right now is that don't let cancer take your life away from you. Take your life back from cancer. And that's one thing that's kept me going and has kept me motivated, is realizing that my life isn't just treatment. My life isn't just taking a medication, getting a chemotherapy, going through radiation. I have a lot to live for because I'm a survivor, and I have a lot to live for. I have a lot that I survived for. And, just a couple of things that I love to do, besides, in spite of my diagnosis, I love spending time with my family. I love being able to wake up in the morning and feel the breeze on my face. I love the sounds that I get to hear, the sights that I get to hear, every taste that I get to taste, everything that I get to feel. It's just more beautiful now. After being brought to such a low point and being so scared and hearing such a scary word like cancer, it's just made me look at my life so much differently. And it's just made me want to take back my life more from cancer. I want to continue to enjoy the things that I enjoy. I want to continue to feel these feelings, and I want to continue to see these sights and smell these smells, and just everything is just elevated ever since, because I enjoy everything more, because I have a purpose. I have a purpose driven life. I have a reason to continue. I have a reason to keep living. And it's because I don't want cancer to define me, and I don't want cancer to take my life from me. And I will never take it. I will never let cancer take my life from me. And that's what I believe it means to be a survivor, that you're not letting cancer take your life away from you. And every day I work harder to claim my life back, even though it's not going to be in an instant, that it's not going to be all together. It's not going to be at the drop of a hat. Even just little victories each day, just taking little bits and pieces of my life back, it makes me just so motivated to continue to survive, to continue to fight against cancer, to continue to tell cancer that my life is mine.
Thank you so much, Donovan, for sharing that beautiful perspective. So very often people hear the word cancer and they tie that to death. It brings you into a dark place. And for so many years, the treatment options that were offered to patients were so limited. People were not open. People were not willing to open up about their diagnoses, or even feel free to say that they were diagnosed with cancer. Cancer was not a word that was used out in the open. It was still a taboo. And I think it's important. Part of my commitment, it's to raise awareness about cancer and to share our journey with others, so others feel comfortable opening up about their diagnoses and talking to others about treatment options, and just seeking hope with others that have been through a cancer journey. I want to take a moment to quickly share some stats that I pulled, and these are the cancer facts and figures from this year, 2024. I pulled 4 states. I pulled Florida. So in Florida, there are 487 million patients that get diagnosed uh, with cancer, males, and 427 females. In Massachusetts, there are 488 males and 428 females, and these are millions. In Connecticut, there are 494 males and 435 females. And in Puerto Rico, there are 391 males and 333 females. Those are pretty alarming numbers and rates. Um, to that said, that being said, there is a lot of research going on, and we're not going to talk about research because that's not our area of expertise. But there are more and more people being diagnosed on a daily basis with cancer. So it's very important. My job is to raise awareness, remind people the importance of preventative care. If you're a female, please make sure that you keep up with your yearly mammograms and your yearly pap smears. If your yearly or every 5-year colonoscopies, every preventative test that it's out there, please make sure that you take advantage of it. It could save your life. The sooner a cancer is detected and diagnosed, the higher chance at survivorship. So that is part of our mission, my mission, to raise awareness. So Donovan, talk to us a little bit about the treatment that you went through, and how do you feel that helped with survivorship?
So the treatment that I went through once I was diagnosed at 22 years old, the initial treatment was a 7-day, 24-hour chemotherapy. One of the most intense chemotherapies that they can give, that not a lot of people come out on the other side healthy, the same person, or just it's just such a rigorous treatment that it tears people apart. And when I was almost completed with this treatment, I was approached by my oncologist, and I was told that the cancer that I was getting this treatment for, this such intense treatment, was not the treatment that I actually had, and that my diagnosis was changing. And this, in a situation like this, just hearing that I'm going through one of the most intense treatments, that I've been hospitalized for so long, and that just hearing that it was all for a cancer that I didn't even have, and that I had a whole different cancer that needed a whole different treatment, in a lot of instances, it would just tear people apart. Because, kind of thinking that you're never going to be the same because of a treatment, and hearing that it was all for something that you didn't even have, it's devastating. But I didn't take that as, oh, this is the end of my life. I didn't get angry. I didn't generate any sort of hate, like a lot of people would have. It's like, oh, you gave me the wrong treatment. I may never be the same again because of you. Like, just generating such anger, such hatred. And in that moment, I felt nothing. Like, I felt no hatred. I felt no malice towards this person, not because I wasn't feeling anything, or I was numb, or I was just overwhelmed. It's because I'm still alive. I'm still here. I survived. I made it through that treatment. I made it through those tough times. I made it through those days, and just grateful for the life that I was living. Even if it wasn't for the cancer that I had, I knew that I still had a life that I had to continue. I knew that I still had people that I had to survive for, that I had to live for. I had experiences that I wanted to experience. I still had so much that I hadn't done that I still want to do. And I knew that in this moment that I had to survive. I had to not just, you know, take it. I had to survive. I had to fight. I had to fight back, and I had to fight for what I want. And that's a life of survivorship, of being more than my diagnosis. And I just, I continued to fight. I got a whole nother treatment. I got a whole nother 8 months of treatment and a lot of radiation. And then for a couple of months, it was like, oh, this is finally over. This is it. I'm done. The rest of my life, I don't have to think about this. And then a relapse happened. And the residual just started growing again. And in these moments, being a survivor is just not losing hope when things aren't exactly how you want them to be. Because that's, the unfortunate truth of this diagnosis is there is no cure for cancer. There is no perfect plan. There is no prediction. But the key to surviving, the key to living is just not losing hope. Just knowing that continuing to fight the good fight is, blessings are going to come your way because of that. Just having strong faith, strong conviction, being strong-willed and not letting this cancer take your life from you, that's how you move far. And, despite the fact that I got the wrong treatment at first, despite the fact that I got all this treatment and was hearing that it was coming back, I never lost hope. I wanted to continue to fight. I never lost the reason to fight. I never lost hope. And that's what being a survivor is. It's just fighting, enduring, not letting it take my life away from me. And that's what I continue to do. I went through a whole nother year of chemotherapy. I went through more radiation. I went through another surgery, just hoping that there's, a bright future for me, knowing that if I continue to fight, that there's reasons to survive, there's reasons to live for, that I can continue to have all these experiences, that my life isn't over. It's just paused. And I have the power to unpause it. I have the power to take my life back. And that's because I believe that it's possible. And I think that's the most important thing, just believing in yourself and not letting what people tell you, not letting what doctors tell you, what books tell you, drown your thoughts. It's just having hope in yourself, having strong faith, just believing that there is an almighty God with us, and that these things, although they may be scary, although they may be tough, they make us tougher people. And these things happen for a reason that we may not see. And I've gone through all this hardship, I've gone through all these challenges, and I've never lost that hope. I've never been like, why, God? Why is this happening to me? Why is this not happening to someone else? Why, just trying to find someone to blame. But no, I just looked within myself and I was like, God, if this is what you want me, if this is what's meant for me to go through, give me the strength to get through it. And that's what being a survivor is, just praying for that strength, continuing to fight, and knowing that, we're not alone in fighting our battles. Keeping strong support, keeping that faith strong, keeping your mind strong, your body strong, doing everything that you can to take more of your life away from cancer, just fighting that battle and pulling away from it. That's what's most important.
I think it's so important to find something to hold on to. You mentioned faith, God, hope. Um, Again, getting a cancer diagnosis can bring you into a dark place really quick, and it's important that you find something to hold on to keep you going and bring you to survivorship. Uh, just keeping or maintaining a positive outlook in life, like he was saying, it's so important. Um, and as a mom, as a family member, as a caregiver, at one point, it was so important to remain positive. Um, even on the darkest moment, even if I wanted to cry and just give up, I knew I had to keep going because Donovan had to keep going. So it's very important to, again, to find something hold on to keep you going. Part of my job tonight is to share some stats. So I'm also going to share some of the top cancer diagnoses that um, have been on the higher, um, um, God, I can't find the word, the higher rate these last 5 years. So for females, it's cervical cancer, breast cancer, and colon cancer. And for males, it's prostate cancer and pancreatic cancer. Those are the highest um, rates for cancers that are being diagnosed or that have been diagnosed in the last 5 years. So, again, really important to keep up with the yearly preventative care. Very important to listen to your body. If there is something that doesn't feel right, make sure you bring it up to your primary care doctor so they could look into so you could get the care so you can get the care that you need. Um, so Donovan, talk to us about, once you were done with treatment, you mentioned a little bit about the first time that you were done with treatment and then you had a relapse. You went through a stem cell harvesting process or procedure, which was back in September of 2022. After that, you had some more radiation. Then also you did another year of relapse chemotherapy for the relapse. Talk to us about once you were done with your treatment, which has been fairly recent. What are some of the side effects, some of the long lasting side effects from the chemo that you feel comfortable talking about?
I would say the longer lasting effects from chemo that have been, a little harder to fight against is kind of just the state of my body after chemotherapy and all this treatment. I'd say it's it's like starting again from zero. And in a lot of people's minds, change like that is something that's scary. Being established, knowing how to do something so well, immersing yourself in something that you're passionate about and know how to do well, and kind of having that all go back to zero, all starting at the beginning. That's one of the things that I've been battling a lot. It's something I've been finding more difficult day to day, is that some of the things that I used to do like second nature and not even acknowledging are becoming a lot harder. And just simple day-to-day tasks, maybe even small exercise. I used to be someone who was very passionate about running, about exercise, about keeping myself in shape. And the sad thing that I've kind of had to deal with lately is that I don't have that same energy because of my treatment. I don't have the same strength that I once had, and I don't have the same abilities that I once had or the same feelings that I once had. But that's, it's, while being difficult to deal with, it's never made me like discouraged to the point that I would never do it again. The way that I look at it, and the way that I believe that every person who has to be in this position and start at zero should look at it, is that there's just, it just motivates you to get back to that point. I'm not, I don't have energy. I'm never going to be able to go back to the gym again. I'm never going to be able to exercise again. I'm never going to be able to explore my passions again. And no, I'm never going to think like that. I'm a survivor. I'm going to get back to that point, and I'm not only going to get back to that point, I'm going to be better than I was before. I'm more motivated than ever just to take that back. I'm not going to let cancer take my energy away from me. I'm not going to let it take my enjoyment away from me. I'm not going to let it take my passions away from me. That's the key to being a survivor. Don't let it take from your life. Don't let it leech away at your happiness, at your passions, because you could still enjoy those things, and even more now with a different perspective in life. I am more motivated than ever to exercise, even compared to back then, where I felt like I was, in the highs, in the prime, and the no, I wasn't even close. Now with this new look that I have on life, the fact that I survived, that I have this newfound appreciation of life, I'm more motivated to seek my passions now more than ever. I know I don't want to be back at where I'm at. I want to be better. I don't want to run the same amount that I did and have the same ability that I did. I want to be better. I want more. One thing that this life has taught me is that I want more life. I want more experiences. I want more things to enjoy. And just not losing that motivation is just so key. Even though, it's been hard. I've had days where I've been discouraged. I've had days where I'm like, why is this taking so long? Why is it taking so long to get back to where I was? But just not letting those dark days bring you down, it's just key. Celebrate your little victories, celebrate those little steps that you take. Don't look at how much you've lost, look at how much you've gained. Don't look at it as, oh, I'm back at zero. Just look at, hey, I'm back 5%, 10%. I'm making progress. You may not be exactly where you want to be right now, but you will get there. And even more if you just continue to believe that you can. You're alive. You have all the time in the world. You have, as long as you believe in that you believe you're a survivor. You're not just a patient. You're not just someone who's suffering from this disease. You're a human being. You're a human being who's capable of anything that they put their efforts into, that they put their mind into. And just not letting those setbacks drag you down and not letting them put, a big X on your life, but just like, taking it off pause. That just having that outlook is so key, I believe, to fighting against the long lasting effects of this treatment.
Thank you, Donovan. What are some of the things that you would share, or what type of advice would you give someone who perhaps has been recently diagnosed? What advice would you give them to get them ready for that first day of treatment or for that long journey?
I would say the key thing, and something that I've always told myself since the beginning, is that we're not running a race. We are not in a race to get back to our original selves. We are not in a race to get the treatment done as fast as we can. It's not a race to finish, to run as quick as we can to the end. It's a marathon. We're not gonna, there are some times where we're gonna slow down. There's some times where things are not going to move as fast as others, where progress is not going to be these highs, that these constant highs. There's going to be those lows too. Just realizing that it's not about the speed and the destination. It's about the journey. It's about how much you learn about yourself along the way. It's about realizing that victories, although being small sometimes, are still victories, and just taking full advantage of that. I'd say if you're starting treatment, if you've been recently faced with a diagnosis and you're scared to start this treatment, you don't know how it's going to go, just take your time. Realize that you don't have to speed to the finish line. Just continue to take those little victories. Take each day at a time. You don't have to take, these months at a time, years at a time. Oh, this treatment's going to be this long in my life. Just take it one day at a time. Each day that you survive against cancer, you're winning. Each day that you continue to fight and you don't give up, you're winning. You're a survivor. You are someone who lived. You are someone who is beating cancer. Each day that you fight against it is another day that you're beating cancer, that you're saying no to cancer, that you're saying no to something so scary, that you're standing up against something that is so terrifying. Each day you are a survivor. Each day you are winning against cancer, and just never let it take you. Never let it win against you. Continue to fight and take each day at a time. Just take it slow. Realize that in the end, it's a marathon. It is not a race. It is a marathon.
I love that. Standing up to cancer and just saying, no, you're not going to take my life. I would say as a family member, as a mom, as a caregiver, as a friend, as a neighbor. Um, it's important to be supportive. It's important to be there, even if it's just to be a listening ear, a shoulder to cry, um, someone to check in with the patient. Um, Many times we might not find the right words to say to that person or that patient, but just being there, being present, it's so important. As a family member, it's important to remain positive. um, Always be curious. um, you know do research, but don't do so much research that it's going to make things worse. Stay out of Google. It's something that I had to learn really quickly. Um, our first instinct is to Google everything, and it's not going to be helpful. So stay out of Google. Listen to the care team. Listen to their knowledge, but most important, pray. Remain faithful, um, and just surround yourself with people who can help you stay positive. It's something that has really worked for us. And again, each case it's different. Each family it's going to be different. But is it these are some of the things that had really worked for us throughout this journey. Um, any final thoughts that you would want to share with the listeners?
Um, Final thoughts. I would say just the journey of a survivor. It's not the same for every patient. I can only tell you, what I've been able to experience, what I've felt. So I think it's important to realize that your journey is going to be different from other people. You may not have the same experience. You may not have the same story to tell. You have your own story, and it's important to live that. It's important to make that. You know, your story is your own, and claim it. Be proud. Be proud that you survived. Don't see yourself as, you know, something to be pitied. Don't see yourself as just, a cancer patient. Oh, I'm just, you know, don't let your diagnosis consume you, because you are more than your diagnosis. You are a person. You are a survivor. You are something more. And just continue to build, continue to take back what that diagnosis took from you and build on it. Don't just strive to be the person you were before your diagnosis. Strive to be something more. Realize that every day is a gift. Every day that you get to fight is an honor, because there are others that, you know, as much as they fight, as hard as they fight, they're not able to fight as long as some others. I'm very fortunate and I'm very blessed to be fighting and continuing to fight as long as I have, because there have been others in my position that haven't had that same blessing. And I take it upon myself to survive in their name too, to fight, to fight in the name of those people that couldn't fight as long as me, to those people who couldn't survive as long as me. And I feel honored and blessed to be still alive and still fighting. And I feel such an honor and such a blessing, because this journey isn't the same for everyone, but I'm proud of mine. I'm proud to tell my story. I'm proud to give my experience, and I'm more than proud to be a survivor, always.
Thank you, Donovan. And we're also very proud of you for always being very open, to share your journey with others. Um, if you're out there and you're fighting, continue to fight. Don't give up. Don't don't let cancer take you. Claim your life. as Donovan mentioned a few times, and just say no to cancer. It's not going to take your life. Continue to share your story with others. It could be an inspiration. It could be so much help. Just sharing with others what you've been through, some of the things that have worked for you, some of the different strategies that you've done, even if it's a diet change or if it's um, something different that you're doing that it's keeping you alive. Just share that with others. Share that hope. We also want to share with all of you that July is Sarcoma Awareness Month. So we are going yellow on July 12th to celebrate life, raise awareness about sarcoma. Sarcoma is a very rare cancer, um, and it's mainly diagnosed on children and adolescents, although there are adult patients out there as well. So, the more awareness that we raise, the more research gets done, and the more treatment options are able to be developed for patients who are diagnosed with sarcoma. So remember that July 12th, wear yellow, and just do it to honor Donovan and every single patient out there fighting with a sarcoma diagnoses, cancer diagnoses. So again, I hope you all enjoyed today's program. If you need to speak with someone, call our hotline, which is listed on the screen, 855-978-6551. You're not alone. So just pick up the phone and call, and there will be help on the other end. So thank you so much for watching. If you're going to watch this program later on, if you need to reach out, please reach out. Don't feel like you have to fight alone. And survivorship, it it means taking your life back from cancer. So keep on fighting and keep fighting the good fight. God bless you, and again, we hope that you enjoyed tonight's program, and we look forward to our next program. Thank you.